Newhall, Saugus, Castaic, and Acton were well-established towns throughout the 20th century. But Canyon Country, well, even in the 50s and 60s, it was wide open territory punctuated with family ranches, and it was considered part of Saugus. I'm Leon Warden, and this is Legacy, Santa Clarita's Living History, brought to you by the Santa Clarita Valley Historical Society, the SCV School and Business Alliance, and Comcast. Anybody who traveled through the Santa Clarita Valley by way of Solemint Junction, out Soledad Canyon Road, or up Mint Canyon, now called Sierra Highway, out to the Antelope Valley, would have been familiar with Dillenbeck Market right there at the corner. Here to tell us about it tonight are two Dillenbeck sisters, Gail Iman and Jennie Moore. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Now, you are two Dillenbeck sisters. I understand there are more Dillenbeck siblings. How many of you are there?
There's 6 of us altogether.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a sister Bonnie and brother Chuck and Mike and Willie.
Well, when did y'all come to the Santa Clarita Valley?
Early 50s?
Early 50s, right.
Your parents, obviously, then would have been the ones who made the decision to come here. Who were they and where did they come from?
I was Gertie and Charlie Dillenbeck, and originally we were from California, Southern California. We moved out here to Saugus, which is also Southern California.
Very good, Gail.
Thank you. And anyway,
From where in Southern California?
Where in
were
Southern
they?
California, Westchester, Westchester area. And my aunt and uncle bought some property out in Saugus, and so they sold half their acreage to mom and dad, which is 7.5 acres. And they bought that and
Okay.
moved on there with the trailer.
And tell me a little bit about your dad. What was his background?
Well, he came from a line of meat cutters, actually. My uncle, great uncle, they were all originally from Utah and Michigan. They moved out here. And they kind of taught him the trade. And I had another uncle who had a store in Woodland Hills. And then my dad, before he moved to, got the store up here, he had worked at Safeway down in the valley.
Right. Now, Dillenbeck Market, that was pretty well known for its meat. When did he open that? I mean, that ran for about 20 years, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Let's see, he opened that about the early 60s, right?
Late 50s.
Late 50s, yeah. Yeah, and until 1978, I believe. Yeah.
What do you remember about the store? What was it like?
Oh, it was neat. It had a meat market, grocery department, regular canned goods area. It
Good
had
produce.
good produce,
Yeah,
right.
Good produce.
It was really well known for its meat.
Now, it sounds a little bit like the Solemint Store, which you probably remember. I mean,
Yeah.
they had, tell me about the Solemint Store, because that would have been going up at least through the 50s.
Solemint Store was more like, to me, like it was kind of like a 5 and dime store. They just had everything in there. We used to go buy little Christmas presents for our parents because it just would have bins of all kinds of things in there. And so it also had some groceries, but I remember it mostly. And then there was a diner that was attached to
Right.
it, and but it just had everything in it.
Well, Dillenbeck came along, and pretty much as Solemint Store was, I would imagine, ending its run.
Yeah.
I
Did
think
Dillenbeck
it
pretty
is.
much
Yeah.
replace Solemint Store then as the place to go for
Yeah,
groceries and
I
sundries
think
and everything else?
The community started growing, so as it started growing, they needed more. So Dad's store kind of occupied and took over that part of it.
Well,
But
you
yeah,
would-
Solemint Store was kind of ending at that point.
You would have seen a good bit of growth in now called Canyon Country.
Yeah.
North Oaks track started in '61. You really saw the
Right.
whole thing take off.
Right, yeah. I remember, I couldn't believe how cheap the homes were, in North Oaks. It was like they started at, I think, $50,000 or less, and it was just, one of those pieces of property that would have been a good idea to pick up on at that time.
Yeah. Where was it that your house was?
Well, you go up Oak Springs Canyon Road, or Lost Canyon Road, and then you run into Oak Springs Canyon Road,
Right.
which goes up and down this long dirt road for about 2 miles, and then it just goes up and over a hill, and we're just tucked into this little valley, like.
We couldn't see any other house from where.
No, we couldn't see any other house. It was really neat.
Did you have any kind of livestock on the property, or?
We had horses, cows, sheep, goats,
Chickens,
pigs,
yeah.
and guinea hens.
Now, was that basically to feed the family, or did
Oh,
you
no,
stock the store, or
It was just for fun.
just for
I
fun?
mean, yeah, yeah.
Really?
I mean, we had rabbits. Dad would go through stages where he'd have a bunch of pigs, and then he'd get a bunch of rabbits and sell them off to friends or give them away. And then he got into this rare bird type of thing where he'd bring home guinea hens or these little white, fluffy, odd-looking birds that had tufts of fur on their head, and I mean, really weird-looking stuff he'd bring home. He really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah. Now, your mother, Gertie, I guess that's short for Gertrude.
Right.
She had an interesting history in her younger days. I understand she was in Argentina. What was that about?
Well, they lived in Argentina because her dad discovered water through his wishing stick. I'm not quite sure what they're called. Anyway,
Like a divining rod?
Yeah.
Divining rod, right. And they ended up in Argentina. They lived there for about 8 years. They were just, Mom was in her teens, and they didn't know any Spanish, any Argentine, and so they didn't understand anybody, nobody understood them. So I guess they had quite experience there, trying to get along and make it. But she really picked up the language, learned it, and had a ball with it, later in life. But it took a while. I know she had some rough times there.
Your mother's father was there to dig wells or build an irrigation system, or?
Basically to dig
all
wells.
of it, yeah, but to
think.
dig wells or
She
find
said,
water too, yeah. He's the one that found the well out where we lived, in our house, and
Your grandfather
My
then?
grandpa.
Yeah,
Using a divining rod?
Right. Divining
which I
rod,
thought
yeah.
was very strange, but
Dad
was
thought
water
it was
there.
stranger.
It was on the Santa Clara River, wasn't it? I hope there's some water there.
place to
rough.
find water.
It's hard to find.
You had some other relatives here, though, already by the time your mother and father settled in Canyon Country. Who were they?
Well, my grandfather got a job managing a ranch, the Crocker Ranch.
What was your
in
grandfather's
St.
name?
Charlie.
So it was Charlie Sr.
Yes,
and Charlie Jr.
yes. And he managed that for about 7 years, and we would all come up, and they had lots of animals, and it was always a real fun time. And I think my mom and dad fell in love with the area. And then my aunt Gertie and her husband bought property.
A different Gertie.
Here, a different Gertie.
Oh, we got two Charlies and two
Yeah,
Gerties.
Gertie's,
Yeah.
right.
And they bought property, and as Gail said before, then my folks bought half of that property and moved up. So
Now, did you both go to school out here?
Yeah, I went
Where?
to Silver Springs.
You went to Sulphur Springs
Yeah.
Elementary?
and we moved up here. I was in junior high, so I started off at Hart High School, which was junior and senior at that time.
Right.
That was early 50s.
Yeah.
Well, you brought a photo here of 6th grade class, Sulphur Springs School, 1955. Who is in this photo? What is that? Who is that right there?
Well, without my glasses.
I think that's you.
That's me.
Is that
Yes,
you?
That's me
Okay.
right there.
And there's probably a Mitchell in there somewhere, isn't there? There's
yeah,
usually a
Charlie
Mitchell at
Mitchell's
Sulphur
right
Springs.
there. He's right in the front.
Okay.
And then there's Judy Hamer, who's there. She lived down the road. Jennie used to go to school with her sister.
Yeah, they lived on the
to
corner.
Hamers. They lived on the corner,
Mm-hmm.
about 5 miles from us.
Now, long about this time, who was the beauty queen? Which one of you was that?
I'd like to say me, but it was my sister Bonnie.
How did that come about? Miss, what do they call her? Miss Tri-Valley?
Yeah, she cut the ribbon for the Antelope Valley Freeway.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
With
I think
Warren
they
Dorn
needed
there.
someone, yes.
Then there's Frank Collins there.
About 1963. Now, 1963, your father liked to take home movies. And I know that you've got some home movie stuff to share with us. In 1963, there was a flood. Let's go ahead and take a look at that, and you can tell me what we're looking at.
Looking at the flood.
Yeah.
Raging water here.
It's
Where is
raging
this?
down there. That's right next to our house.
So that's the Santa Clara River?
Yeah,
With
Santa
water in
Clara.
it?
Yeah,
A lot of water
yeah,
in
a
it.
lot of water in it. That was right after we had a bad fire.
Oh, the 1962
In the
fire.
1962 fire, right. And that's the old station wagon.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah. Well, they didn't go too far, I don't think.
Turn around and come back.
Yeah,
'cause the
they
road was
tried
wiped
to get out. Yeah. And that's the fence, the white picket fence.
Fence
Right
post.
next to the house.
Yeah. We didn't know if it was going to get to the house or not. The sides kept caving in.
And that's the
See,
house?
it's pretty
Yeah.
close to the house.
See, it just kept getting closer and closer. But it did do a lot of damage, and that our well withstood it too, which was surprising. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Okay, well now here it looks like a little happier times. What, hunting? Did your dad like to hunt?
My dad did like to hunt. That's my Uncle Frank.
He's the one who had the store that Dad worked for before he came up here. That's Dad.
Steaks.
Yeah,
Always
cooking
good
steaks.
on the barbecue.
Hunting and put it to use.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big blizzard of what, 1960, about 1960?
Well, they're the same fence posts, so this
Yeah.
would be there in the Santa Clara River out
There's
in
Mom.
Canyon Country.
Mm-hmm.
Having fun.
That's Dad.
That's is
It's
that
Kathy
you?
Eckler.
Oh.
No, it's Kathy Eckler. Kathy Bro, Richard, a bunch of school friends.
Mm-hmm. That looks like a picnic.
Yeah, that's over at my Aunt Gertie's house. That was just across the way. There's Angie. She worked at the store.
And that's from a couple of my cousins.
So we're still looking at Sand Canyon?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Or Lost Canyon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's out by the pool.
Who's
that's
that?
me and my husband,
Okay.
Rex. That's Willie and Mike.
Two of your brothers.
Yes, my two brothers. That's them at Christmas time. Christmas was always a big thing. My dad loved Christmas.
Oh, he did.
And there's our brother Chuck.
Pulling the wagon.
Twins.
Yeah.
Willie and Mike are twins.
Well, they're those fence posts, so they're
Yeah.
still at the house.
Yeah. Doesn't look like they put him. Oh yeah, there they are.
Yeah, Chucker, he was always doing something terrible to the twins.
And that's my husband's sister, Susan. That's my girls, Diana and
What are their
Linda.
names?
Diana and Linda. And that's another Christmas. That was, and I don't know what those weird dolls are. But
Toys.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh.
That's the house again. That's Mom with her Polaroid. She was always taking pictures.
Yeah, the pool was well used.
Dad had
The
a lot
pool's
of
at the
parties
house
back
in
there.
Canyon Country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in back of the house.
That's Lone Pine. Then that's Johnny Brown. That's
Dad.
Dad. And that's
You brought the cat with you
Susan.
on.
The
Oh.
Siamese cats. They loved Siamese cats. They always had one. They took them everywhere with them.
And they always stayed at the campgrounds. That's
Yeah.
Uncle Gail.
My dad's brother. And Nick's,
Mom.
yes.
That's your mom.
Mhm.
Yep.
And that's my Aunt Aggie. That's Frank's wife.
Oh, what's this?
And who's that, Gail?
Jeannie and Bonnie.
Oh.
That's my sister Bonnie and her friend Jeannie.
They were
Okay.
cheerleaders. And my dad loved to fish. So we went to Lone
That's
Pine
one
went
of the
fishing.
Lynches. And that's just a friend of the family's there.
I don't think my dad especially liked to eat fish, but he loved to catch them.
Well, they're cleaning fish.
Yeah, because the rest of us loved them. Trout.
Now, who's
I
this?
still love trout. That's Grandma Lily. That's
Lily-
my dad's
Lily
mom.
Dillenbeck.
Lily Dillenbeck.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And he also loved deep sea fishing. They go out to do that.
And that's your dad right there.
Yeah, that's Dad.
And quite sure who's with him.
I think that was Hanson in that earlier shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an interesting shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, they love to fish.
And that's it. My
That's
aunts.
back at Aunt Gertie and Clyde's.
Again,
That
Sand
was just-
Canyon.
yeah.
Before the
Long
Canyon
Canyon.
Country Little League, there was Dirt Lot.
Yes,
Dirt
yes.
baseball.
It seemed like every time they got together for a picnic, they had to have a
They had a
baseball,
baseball
game. My
game,
dad
yeah.
played
Oh,
baseball
they loved it.
in high school. and
Who's that?
That's my sister Bonnie and our horse Penny. That's Richard's horse. And that's in Utah there.
They loved to go. That's
Yeah,
what then
loading
they
up
went
to go
hunting.
Yeah.
They took the horses with them hunting.
Took them to go hunting.
Yeah. And
That's me
Gail.
and Mike.
Is that you, Bonnie?
No, that's Bonnie and Jeannie
Oh,
there.
who's that?
Yeah. I think that's Molly.
Oh, Molly. Okay.
Yeah. And
See, there's the pony.
Yeah. No, that's
there.
Taffy. That's
that
Penny's
Taffy?
colt. Yeah.
Oh, well, it was a pony still.
It's not a pony, it's a foal.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's a dog. That's
a dog.
right there. Who's that?
That's
That's
Gail.
me.
Okay. And that's the house.
I haven't changed a bit.
Yes, that's the house. Bonnie.
Bonnie,
Sister
yeah.
Bonnie. And I think that's
Diana.
one of my daughters. I
That's
think
like
that's Diana with
That's
K.
Kay, yeah.
And there's Penny.
That's a horse we learned to ride on.
Well, the
That's
horse that always
Francis.
threw me off,
Yeah.
but Gail could ride it. And that's Francis the donkey. And that's Bonnie. Being
Yeah.
a what? I don't know what.
Learning how to ride.
Oh, okay.
And those are the mountains back there.
And this is your place still?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And
Yeah,
that's the
that's-
old
Isn't that where they had the
barn.
chicken coops?
That was a chicken coop, right? That's where the coyote got locked
Right.
in.
We're riding off
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
sunset.
Yes.
It never burned up. Fire came pretty close to you,
No,
though,
it
probably.
Several
did,
times fire
huh?
came close. Yeah.
Mom got shot at a couple times when she was out there by hunters, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Trying to shoot the pigeons, the pigeons circling it. It used to make her so mad.
We have big bad fires when, I mean, you know, we saw the snow there. It used to snow a lot more, it seems.
Yeah.
It snowed a couple times when we
About
were there.
every 10 years we'd get a good snow like that. Yeah.
Well, I've heard stories that, you know, because of all the growth and actually all the trees that have been planted in the last 20, 30 years, the frost level doesn't come down as low. So
Right.
Oh, really? Is that what?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
typical, yeah.
But I don't know. I used to enjoy the snows.
Yeah.
Now, the market, you were, your dad opened a second Dillenbeck Market, didn't he?
In Newhall.
Where was that?
That was on San Fernando Road. It used to be an old Safeway store, and Dad bought it. took
So the
it over.
old time Safeway
Yeah.
your dad bought and turned it into
Yeah.
one. Did he have the same kind of products there?
Yeah, pretty
It
much.
wasn't as
yeah.
big.
It wasn't as big, and it didn't last as long. I think it was only open for about 5 years, but Dad just got tired of managing 2 stores. And it was a lot of work.
And that eventually became Tracy Harris Market. It's Tracy Harris Market today. But remember anything interesting about that, about the store? You were saying something earlier about
The robbery?
Robbery,
Robberies,
yeah.
yeah.
He got robbed. It was really scary. The robber pistol whipped one of the guys to get him to open a safe, and the other people he put in a freezer and locked it.
Really?
So, yeah,
Now, is this the store in Newhall or the one in
Newhall.
Okay.
yeah. And so when the guy got up after he was pistol whipped and the burglar left, he got up and opened the freezer and let the employees out.
Mhm. Tell me a little bit about ranch life out in Canyon Country.
Well, we'd get so bored sometimes, I tell you. You know, as a teenager growing up there too, it could really get boring because there's no neighbors, you know, so you do things like you hypnotize the chickens.
Yes.
I mean, we're desperate here, you know what I mean?
Yes, it was not teenage girls. It was not particularly fun living way out in the what we called the boonies.
Yeah, we used to envy the kids that lived in town, and Mom and Dad didn't want us to go there. You know, and then we always had the railroad tracks. You know, you didn't go on the other side of the railroad tracks either, so.
Which railroad tracks weren't you allowed to go on the other side of?
Well, the one at the end of the road where we caught the bus. You know.
Where the pavement ended.
Yeah.
But you couldn't. I mean, you couldn't go where? You couldn't. go into town, or you couldn't?
Well, she didn't want us to go anywhere where she couldn't see us. And we did get in trouble. We used to put pennies and nickels on the railroad tracks, and the sheriff actually came out.
They came.
Really?
Yeah, they scared us to death because we were just kids and we got in trouble for, you know.
That was. We didn't know it was illegal or dangerous.
No.
know you could
Fun.
derail
Flattening
time.
pennies. We didn't know.
Pennies are pennies. They were flat. They looked great.
Well, looking at your old home movies, looks like you like to go camping. I mean, today, you know, you go what? You go shopping at the mall, or you go to Disneyland or something. But it looks.
That was
we're-
our entertainment, was camping. We loved it. Yeah.
Fishing. Yeah. camping,
enviable
fishing.
lifestyle now. Who were some of
Yeah.
your neighbors in there?
Well, the closest neighbors was my aunt and uncle that lived over the hill, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was pretty much it. I had a girlfriend, Gail, who lived on the end of the road, which was about 10 miles away. That
Mhm.
was, other than my aunt and uncle, that was pretty much our closest neighbor that we knew really well. And then we had the Moores that lived across the tracks that were tore down,
Not
the
related
train
to me.
tracks.
Not
Yeah,
the
they're
different
not
Moores.
related,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I asked.
And now that's got, you know, houses on it. We wouldn't even recognize it,
Mhm.
you know, going out there. But there wasn't a whole lot of people close by. We had to go hypnotize chickens for entertainment, basically.
Who was
Or-
the house on the hill? What was that guy's name? That's
Oh,
still
the
there.
Reyes, not the
no,
Reyes.
No. That's still there. The house on the hill. There on the road as you go up.
Oh,
The
with
house on the
the,
hill.
with that tunnel, the,
Yeah, with the tunnel where they had the, yeah.
what did they call that? Bomb shelters. They had a bomb shelter, but I didn't know, we didn't know them. And
No.
they were just up there, built a big, beautiful house.
Bomb shelter in Canyon Country.
Yeah, bomb shelter in Canyon Country.
Actually,
yeah.
I think it was actually a train tunnel at one time.
No, it was a
No,
bomb
it
shelter.
was a bomb shelter?
Yeah, it was a bomb shelter.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Were you
they
afraid
built
somebody
it.
would bomb their chickens?
Well,
I still think it was a train tunnel.
it wasn't a train.
Okay. Were you guys ever allowed to go out to Ace Kane's place?
Oh yeah, we went out there a lot. And, you know, Mom wasn't too excited about it, but she let us go.
Tell me about it. What do you remember about it?
Well, I
I
remember.
heard some interesting stories about Ace Kane's place and the things that went on there. What do you know?
Well, they had a lot of parties, and being a little kid, I wasn't on the inside of things, you know, there. But I remember the pool, going swimming, and it was always full of people. There's a lot of people there,
Yes.
and they had the snack bar where you can get snow cones and popcorn and hot dogs, that sort of thing. And then they had this house, a two-story house that we weren't allowed to go in. We're upstairs. We'd go in the bottom part of it, and it was just basically empty with a few chairs there.
What went on upstairs?
Well, you know, I wouldn't know because I wasn't allowed up there, but when I went up there, I saw these pictures. And basically, they were like old Western pictures, you know. So I think what was going on upstairs was mostly gambling. I think people just went up there and gambled, you know, because there was like tables and chairs there.
Yeah.
And he had a trout farm. You could fish, pay to fish.
And they had monkeys, big cage full of monkeys.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like more for, well, it was an entertainment spot,
Right.
I guess.
Right. Yeah. Kind of like, you know, a miniature golf place, except there was no golf. You know, it just had all these
Sure.
different things you could do there.
In the 60s, these would be the days of the beginnings of frontier days and the rodeos
Yes,
and all that. You remember
yes.
anything about those?
Oh yeah, they had watermelon bus there, and they had a couple of frontier days
Watermelon
there.
what?
Bust, they call them, which was just a Lions Club getting together to have charities, things there for the blind, that sort of thing.
A watermelon eating contest? Or
No,
what do you
I
mean
don't know
bust?
why they call it the watermelon bust. I just know that there was some watermelon there, and I don't know, you know, that was just what they'd call it. But then they have Frontier Days there too, occasionally. So.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
last years of the Frontier Days, I think,
They
were
always
there.
had to grow. Dad always had to grow a beard. You
Yeah,
had
you
to grow
get
a beard for
thrown in
frontier
jail,
days.
you know, that
Yeah.
sort of
If
thing.
you didn't grow a beard, they'd throw you in jail.
Okay.
And we worked at
Then
the
you had to
Taco
pay to
Bell.
get out, and that's how they made it.
Yeah, that's how they made money.
Yeah, did you ever work in the store or, you know, in Dillenbeck Market?
My Aunt Gertie was the bookkeeper,
Mm-hmm.
and she was the only, well, I think I had a cousin that worked there, but we really, my brother Mike and I think Willie, they got training as a meat cutter there. And of course my brother Chuck, he got his training. He's a manager of a meat market up in Reading right now. But they all got their training there.
And where do you both live now?
I live in Eugene, Oregon.
I live in Long Beach, California.
Well, you're still local.
Yeah.
And you still visit.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
I'm down here visiting, yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for visiting with us. I know it's hard to believe we're out of time already, but thank you. And for answers to all your SCV history questions, to see some photos of the Dillenbeck Market and other things that we've talked about tonight, visit scvhistory.com on the internet or stop by the Saugus train station in downtown Newhall weekends 1 to 4. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Legacy, Santa Clarita's Living History. I'm Leon Warden. Good night.